What's up, guys? So I promised that I was going to talk about Mass Effect Andromeda and why I really had problems with the story and why I just didn't connect. I felt this huge disconnection, and the more I would play, the more I felt it until it was just completely just severed and I just couldn't get back into it no matter how much I tried. I actually appreciate how understanding a lot of you have been and how respectful you guys were in the first part. It feels good to be a part of a community that could express their feelings in a respectful way and not be like, well, why didn't you like it? I loved it. I love Mass Effect, and I appreciate a lot when it comes to Mass Effect Andromeda. Some of it looked really good, some of it didn't. But the stuff that looked really good, it was like, wow, that looks awesome. Like the shots of the Hyperion and stuff like that, and like stuff in space, that stuff looked good. Some of the environments looked really good. And I also appreciate the combat. I thought the combat was really, really fun. I even liked the combat in Andromeda more so than in the trilogy, in the original trilogy. I couldn't connect with Ryder. There weren't that many options in the beginning. So I after a long time, I was like, okay, I got a character. I made a female character first I made a male character, but then my official playthrough was a female character. I think what made me disconnect the most with Ryder wasn't so much the way that they looked, but the dialogue. Not the voice actors. I thought the voice actors did a great job, but the writing, like, it was so dull to me. Like, I was like, oh my god, like, seriously. You really, really felt the inexperience that Ryder had. And as interesting as this could have been, I feel like they did it a disservice because they not only made you so inexperienced, young, and just dropped you into this completely new galaxy where you all of a sudden are the savior. Am I really gonna believe this? I'm not gonna believe this. And I just have this power to fix their problems that they've been dealing with for years. It didn't sit well with me to know that I was nobody and I was coming in and like, oh, I'll fix everything. I got this in such a short time. Maybe if they would have let us make a bit of an older character, that would have been a little bit easier for me, because if we had been able to make a bit older character, I think it would have made the dialogue a lot less. Like, I mean, you could get an older person and be inexperienced in a position, right? Like you like in the old trilogy, Shepard just became a Spectre in the beginning, so it was like he didn't really know what was going on, so he was a bit inexperienced in that, but he still had some kind of training. I mean, he was N7, so it was like, I trust this guy. I know this guy is ready for it. I believe it. And then they kind of want you to feel this connection with your dad. That's another thing that was really annoying to me, was that false sense of family. BioWare sold that so much. Anytime you add family in a game, it makes you connect so much more, because you know what that feels like. You know what family is, and you know how important it is. That was exciting to me, the idea of family. And when I played the game, your dad dies in the very beginning, and you didn't even have a connection with him. Apparently, you weren't even close to him. Well, then how am I supposed to feel about this? Am I supposed to be like, oh no, my father died? If they had kept him alive for just longer, if they had, I mean, it was like, okay, he was bound to die, but keep him there longer so that it was important, so that I knew that that I had a reason to actually mourn him, to want to keep going as Pathfinder, because I was doing this for my father, because my father gave this position to me when it shouldn't have been mine. There was nothing there to make it important, to make it significant, to make it special, to make it like this drive to be like, I have a role. That scene in Sam Node where everybody's like, oh my god, I'm sorry, he's dead, whatever, and you're just like, wait, he died? death scenes in BioWare have been, heart-wrenching. I mean, you think back in Dragon Age 2 when your mother died. Holy, oh my god, like that was hard. In this scene, it's just like, oh, Sam? Why? Why would he give it to me? Like, what the You gave me barely any scenes with this guy. You made it seem that I didn't even have a connection with him. Okay, so why am I supposed to care? Why? Because of the memories that I'm gonna eventually find out? I felt so angry about that. I was like, do you want me to care about these characters or not? The party members felt like rehashes of other BioWare, more successful BioWare characters. The ones in Mass Effect Andromeda, they felt like I said, rehashes. Like, Peebee was Sarah to the T. Like, I was like, this is so much Sarah that I can't. I can't. It's so obviously Sarah from Dragon Age Inquisition. The way she talked, that like fast way she would talk, and you were like, wait, what did she say? You know, like, and then just all of a sudden blurt out this weirdness. And it was like, oh my god, this is Sarah. Vetra, she was pretty cool. I like her. But she felt so much like Garrus, like a female Garrus. Cora reminded me a lot of Miranda. Sam felt so much like Edie. I mean, I like Sam, but that whole like, well, let me learn through you. Like, I'm learning the way the humans think and the way the humans are. It was so Edie. Like, I was like, I've done this before. I love Drac. I think Drac, out of all the characters, the party members, I think Drac was probably my favorite, but he reminded me a lot of Rex. I think Jaal was probably the most interesting character out of the party because he had so much to say about Andromeda, but that was his only role. Like, he was only there to tell you, oh, this is that, this is this. Oh, the conflict between these people. You know, he was an encyclopedia. He was pretty much a walking encyclopedia. And as much as the banter in the Nomad was interesting sometimes and funny and stuff, and it was banter. Is that really the best you're gonna give us from these characters? In a just hearing them talk in the Nomad? While you're driving or while you're walking? The flirting was so cringy to me. You meet Vetra, and you talk to her a few times. You go on to the Tempest. This was the first time you met her, and when you go to talk to her officially, that same, like, it was like, I just met her. He was already, this is when I was doing a male playthrough, he was already, like, coming on to her, and it was like, dude, that's so creepy. But the prize, no. What I really liked about Mass Effect games, particularly in the past with romances, was the way that they handled them. It was slow. It was something where you got to know the person, and then you start to get these more obvious romance options to, you know, where you're like, I think I like you. It felt more natural. It felt more meaningful. It felt like there was something special forming there. I tried romancing Liam with my female, and I mean, he was alright. I didn't connect with anybody. And from the get-go, I said that I was happy that Shepard's story was over. I wanted to see something new, so that's not the issue with me. It's not like I want Shepard back. I was never one of those people that wanted Shepard back. But I think the reason why I connected with Shepard, at least in my point of view, why I connected more with Shepard than I did with Ryder was because of what I said in the beginning. I felt like I believed it. I was believing what was happening. There was a lot of correlations with what was happening because humans in the Milky Way in Mass Effect were also newcomers. I mean, not as new as in Andromeda, because in Andromeda you were like hours new, like you just got there with the First Contact War and stuff like that, and humans being one of the newest races to the galaxy. So that was always something that was evident in the trilogy. Like, you know, you were always seen as the young race. You are dropped into a galaxy that was already happening. It wasn't like everybody was suffering because you weren't there to save them. Not until it was a threat for the whole galaxy. That's when everybody came together. And just because, it turned out that you were a human and you were Shepard and you were an N7 soldier and a Spectre, you were the one that was going to lead this team, but you needed everybody's help. You needed all the races. You had a team of different races and you all worked together to beat the Reapers. And in this one, you also had a team of different races, but it was like the other Pathfinders died, except for the Solarian one, but it was like it all depended on what you did, whether they survived. So it was like, you're the only one that could do this, and your team was kind of just there. I wanted to know that you could go save the Turian Pathfinder and the Asari Pathfinder and and all work together. What they were doing with the story, it just felt off. It felt wrong for Ryder. So yeah, that was my disconnection with a lot of the characters and the main character and some of the dialogue in the story. Like, seriously, some of the dialogue was so lame to me. It was so dull. Like, on the Nexus, in where you go to when you pick up that, in the very beginning, Liam is talking to this girl, and all she's saying is you'd be surprised. She says it like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, yeah, I'm freaking surprised. Like, I'm blown away right now. Like, I kept thinking, I was like, BioWare's better than this. They are so much better than this. I will say this again, you don't have to agree with me. This is very personal. This is why I stopped playing the game. I'm not trying to convince you guys of anything. If you guys loved these characters, again, I'm so happy that you did. I wish I had. I honestly wish I had liked these characters. I would have loved to beat this game. It's not fair to be putting up with a game that you just don't like just because you're a fan of it. No. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.